Is Calvin Klein's historic day in Japan truly complete without Jungkook's presence? Or is his absence hiding a deeper story that fans around the world are desperate to uncover? Before diving deeper into this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss the next big revelation, the next hidden clue, and the next emotional twist that could change everything you thought you knew about Jungkook and Calvin Klein's history-making event in Japan. Share your thoughts. Where do you think Jungkook really is today? The day was meant to be flawless, a day where cameras would flash endlessly, where fans would scream names with trembling voices, and where Calvin Klein Japan would finally mark its grand milestone. The day the brand expanded its influence into one of the world's fashion capitals with an event so grand it could rewrite the narrative of global fashion collaborations. Yet, amidst the roaring excitement, amidst the lights and luxury, a single question echoed louder than any microphone could capture. Where is Jungkook? Wasn't he supposed to be there? Wasn't his face the very symbol that reignited Calvin Klein's heartbeat in Asia? Wasn't his image sharp, daring, timeless, the reason Calvin Klein campaigns trended worldwide for months, painting walls of Tokyo, Seoul, New York, and Paris with his presence? And yet, on this historic day for Calvin Klein Japan, his absence became the centerpiece of the event, overshadowing even the collection itself. Fans had gathered since dawn, clutching banners, some dressed head to toe in Calvin Klein as if trying to embody Jungkook's aura themselves. The Tokyo air carried anticipation, like static electricity waiting for that one glimpse, that one smile, that one black and white camera flash moment of him stepping onto the stage. But as each minute ticked by, as models strutted, as executives delivered polished speeches, as champagne glasses clinked, Jungkook's silhouette never appeared. The seat that many whispered was reserved for him remained empty. Was it intentional? Was it a mystery crafted by Calvin Klein themselves, to stir frenzy, to keep the world guessing, to turn absence into the most powerful presence of all? Or was it something deeper, something only Jungkook could explain? A decision wrapped in personal struggles, hidden schedules, or perhaps a bold move to let curiosity burn brighter than clarity? The truth is, fans didn't just come for Calvin Klein, they came for him. They came because Jungkook wasn't just a brand ambassador. He was the embodiment of what the brand had become in this new era. The way he wore Calvin Klein was not about fashion, but about transformation, rebellion, intimacy, and power. He had turned jeans into poetry, shirts into symbols, and campaigns into confessions. Could such a historic day in Japan truly feel complete without him? As reporters exchanged glances, cameras zoomed on the empty chair, and whispers of "where is he?" traveled faster than official press releases. A strange kind of tension settled into the room. Was Jungkook watching from afar? Was he secretly in Japan but choosing to remain hidden, avoiding the spotlight for reasons only he knew? Or was there another agenda, something bigger, something that this absence was silently pointing towards? Some fans pointed to cryptic clues left in recent posts, a sudden silence on his social platforms, a photograph without a caption, a fleeting video where his outfit carried subtle hints. Was it Calvin Klein? Or was it something else entirely? Was he telling us through silence, through absence, through mystery, that his journey with the brand was entering another stage, one not meant to be unveiled today but at another time, another place, another way? The air thickened with suspense. Every whisper felt like a code. Every shadow in the venue felt like a possibility. And still, the question refused to leave. Where is Jungkook? The murmurs inside the venue had reached a point where they no longer felt like background noise. They had become the true soundtrack of the event. "Is he late?" whispered a fan in the corner, her voice trembling with both hope and fear. Another clutched her phone tightly, scrolling endlessly for updates, refreshing fan accounts and live tweets every second, searching desperately for even the smallest hint of Jungkook's whereabouts. Yet, every refresh led to the same aching silence. Nothing. No new post, no sudden airport sighting, no candid leak, just absence, stretched out like an endless echo. But could silence itself be the loudest statement of all? Calvin Klein's executives smiled politely, their speeches polished and rehearsed, yet their eyes seemed to flicker every time Jungkook's name was mentioned. They knew what the audience was really waiting for. The cameras knew it too. constantly panning toward the entrance, toward that single empty chair, as if expecting him to walk in at any moment and turn the entire story upside down. Yet the doors never opened. This wasn't the first time Jungkook had played with absence. Fans remembered other moments, those cryptic silences before his solo debut, the way he disappeared before suddenly appearing with a project so grand it shook the entire industry. Could this be another one of those carefully calculated silences, where the lack of presence was itself a presence, where not showing up screamed louder than any physical appearance ever could? Still, the heart of the crowd ached. Fans had traveled from faraway cities, some even flying across countries, their suitcases filled with Calvin Klein merchandise, their hearts filled with the hope of just one moment with him. Some had painted butterflies and initials on their nails. Some wore his signature denim looks. Some carried banners with heartfelt words like JK, Japan is waiting for you. But all of that devotion met only with an unanswered question. Why wasn't he here? Outside the venue, the crowd grew restless. Chants of his name began to rise, blending with the Tokyo night air like a plea reaching out to someone unseen. Jungkook, Jungkook. The sound vibrated off buildings, spilling into streets where neon lights blinked as if mocking the fans' uncertainty. Even passers-by, who had no idea about the event, stopped to listen, drawn into the mysterious energy surrounding Calvin Klein's historic day. And yet, the strangest part of it all was that Jungkook himself wasn't gone from the story. His face still dominated the giant billboards lining Shibuya. His Calvin Klein campaigns still glowed from massive LED screens. His black and white gaze still followed fans as they walked through the city, larger than life, both present and painfully absent at the same time. It was as though Tokyo had been draped in Jungkook's shadow, yet the man himself was nowhere to be found. Could it be that his absence was planned? That the real headline of this event wasn't Calvin Klein's Japanese expansion, but the mystery of where its global icon was? Was Calvin Klein using suspense as the ultimate marketing strategy, knowing that curiosity would spread faster than official announcements? After all, the entire internet was already buzzing, with hashtags climbing into global trends. Hashtag where is Jungkook and hashtag Calvin Klein Japan without JK. The conversation had already surpassed fashion. It had become a cultural storm. Still, others argued it wasn't about strategy, it was about humanity. What if he's tired? What if he needed rest? Some fans said, their voices softer, filled with worrying rather than anger. They remembered his past confessions, moments when he admitted he felt overwhelmed, moments when the weight of expectations bore down too heavily. Could his absence be a silent plea for understanding, for privacy, for space to simply breathe? The truth hung in the air like smoke, visible, undeniable, but impossible to hold. The event pressed on. Models walked, applause rose and fell, executives raised their glasses. Yet, to every fan inside and outside, it all felt incomplete. The day was supposed to be historic for Calvin Klein Japan, but history itself felt fractured without him there. And then, a whisper spread like wildfire. A fan claimed to have seen him at Haneda Airport earlier that morning. Another insisted he was spotted near Shibuya late at night, wearing a hoodie that looked suspiciously familiar. Were these real sightings, or illusions born of longing? The crowd clung to every rumor as though it were oxygen. They searched faces in the crowd, shadows in alleys, reflections in store windows, hoping one would suddenly reveal Jungkook standing among them. The longer the night went on, the more surreal it felt. Could Jungkook have been there all along, hidden, observing silently, watching the impact of his absence unfold like a carefully written story? Could he be testing the depth of loyalty, the power of curiosity, the strength of the connection that fans felt even when he wasn't physically present? No matter the truth, one thing was clear. Jungkook's absence had already rewritten the event. Calvin Klein Japan would be remembered, not just for its history-making opening, but for the mystery it carried. Fans left the venue with heavy hearts, but also burning questions. Some cried quietly as they clutched their phones, typing out posts that mixed devotion with despair. Others vowed to wait, believing that one day soon Jungkook himself would break the silence.